So have you ever been walking down the grocery store aisle and wondering how many things you need to buy that say gluten-free on it, or if you do see a package that says gluten-free, that it automatically is a better option?
So many times I've been in that situation, yeah.
And have you ever looked into the benefits of gluten-free diet, and have you seen anything negative towards it?
As you know, I've been living this gluten-free
I am
life.
totally setting you up for this.
I guess I'm a pretty good person to have for this episode.
Yes, exactly.
Because I know the gluten-free lifestyle pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about the gluten-free debate, and is that the right route to go? Is there a better route to go? And is there anything else that might be affecting your health?
Yeah.
So how long have you done or messed around with the gluten-free situation?
I started being gluten-free close to 10 years ago because I was getting ready for my wedding, and I had a trainer, and he suggested that I get off the gluten because I was talking about some things that I was experiencing, and also just with the fitness, and he was pretty switched on as far as nutrition and just gut health, stuff like that. So he recommended that I go on the gluten-free diet, and I did, and I have not looked back since.
Okay. Feel good?
Yeah,
Sweet.
I feel good.
Do you know what gluten is?
It's a protein.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it in?
Like food-wise, wheat and stuff with wheat in it. What?
Nothing. Yeah, so like wheat, barley, rye, those type like breads, pastas, those types of. I personally have a struggle when it comes to people saying that they're on a gluten-free diet.
Yeah, you got a bone to pick.
I got a bone to pick with everybody, and there are some people that do it really well, but then some people, just like any other diet, you could tell me that you're a vegetarian and eat just garbage food.
Yeah.
And when I hear somebody say that they're gluten-free, it immediately is like nails on a chalkboard for me. Until I get to hear like that person's like version of what that is, and then have a good discussion. But the majority of people are like, they don't really know what gluten is. They don't know what gluten-free means. They don't know the issues with the marketing of gluten-free. I remember when I was in chiropractic school, we used to go do these screenings. There was an event called Autism Now, which was like a big seminar for autistic families to go see different vendors and hear doctors speak. And I was just learning about all this like nutrition stuff. And I was learning about the effects of sugar and autism and the effects of gut health in autistic children. And we were doing a spinal screening at this event, and right across from our booth was a company that had gluten-free products. That was their marketing thing. And that's gluten-free for autistic families or children that have a neurodivergent issue. Then they're told to go be on a gluten-free diet. So I went and looked at this product. So I was like, oh, this is sweet. All these things look amazing. It looks like it's going to be so good.
Yeah.
And then I started reading the ingredients, and I was like, this is all just like garbage ingredients. None of this is good. Like, none of this is going to help the kid that is dealing with a neurological issue heal from that or get any better or even really put good nutrients into their body.
Yeah.
So ever since then, it's just been like so cringe for me when I hear I'm on a gluten-free diet.
Sure.
Then there's people like you that I've witnessed you and how you eat and how you live your life. Perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
So not everything's on target, but for the most part, it's pretty solid. So what are some things that you would say for you was like hard to get used to, harder to figure out, those types of real life things?
At that time, I was still eating like a lot of gluten food, like gluten-laden food, like flour and pizza, sandwiches. Just there's so much that has gluten in it in the standard American diet. And so even when I would be like with my family or friends and we're ordering a pizza or just going out to dinner or stuff, it would be hard to start like looking for those things that didn't have the gluten in it. So for a while, I did feel like that annoying friend that was like, oh, gotta make sure they have a gluten-free option here or whatever. And usually the gluten-free options were like a salad with some like some pretty bland dressing or something on it. So it started off, I felt pretty constricted or restricted for a while. And then I started really shifting my entire diet where wasn't just looking for the gluten-free products on the shelf. I was centering it more around protein and healthy fats and fruits and stuff like that and healthy sugar. So it started as more of a fad diet that you talked about because I was just trying to avoid it so much. And it led to a lifestyle change for me. So started to really look into it and the actual effects and the gut health and stuff. And yeah, not just the superficial kind of surface layer gluten-free diet.
Yeah, that's good. And because it affects your gut. It's not good for you. When we think about what are the effects of gluten on your body, it says here gluten can trigger the release of zonulin, which is a protein that regulates the tight junctions of your gut lining. So you literally have your gut looks this, so it's nice and tight, and that what that means is that there's no permeability, so that no garbage can get in through the gut lining and no garbage can get out of the gut lining. The problem is that people end up having a leaky gut syndrome. And so if you have acne, rashes, skin issues, typically any type of a skin issue is also related to a gut issue. But what's happening is you have a leaky gut, so the toxins are able to get in and out of the gut more easily. So then usually the issue is when the toxins get out of the gut because it's not containing the stuff that you're supposed to be expelling. So that's when you get like a toxic overload, toxic spillage.
Yeah.
It can also lead to inflammation. Inflammation in the gut lining is an issue that needs to be healed up because that's going to lead to bloating. It's going to lead to just inflammatory bowel disease, even like IBS, Crohn's disease, diverticulitis. So yes, gluten is a culprit to other issues, but also just understanding like what that can do for you.
Yep.
I really liked how you said like you started shifting to more like a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So was there a point, did somebody teach you that? Did you learn that somewhere?
It really, I could say like this trainer that I had, he was like a major catalyst in my life, which I know is just like such a godsend and part of my journey and this whole holistic health journey that I've been on since then. So I was talking to him about some problems that I was having, like some digestive issues and some skin issues, just everything that you've been saying, some achy joints and some inflammation and like dry mouth, dry eyes, just so much that I could point to that has like really dissipated a lot since I cut out gluten. And now I know that anytime I have gluten or something's like cross-contaminated or if I indulge a little bit because I'm just being whatever, I know that's the culprit. So yeah, I can just say that he was definitely a catalyst in this whole journey for me and just opened the door to me researching other things like, okay, if gluten is bad, like what else am I consuming that's not helping my health at all? And then started cutting out some other things like refined sugars and wasn't drinking as much alcohol and just a bunch of things, pharmaceuticals. Like I stopped taking birth control and it just opens up the floodgates. Like once you see one thing, especially when it's really working for you, having
It's like
that.
a little gateway drug.
It was a gateway drug. The gluten-free diet was a gateway drug into my full-blown conspiracy theory madness that I am.
I can't wait to see which conspiracy theory gets unleashed today.
Oh my gosh.
What, you got one in your pocket?
We'll see if it comes up organically. If it doesn't, I'll make sure it does.
Okay, cool. Do you know about glyphosate?
Yes.
What is it?
It is something that they spray on crops and plants and stuff. It's like a pesticide.
Yep.
Gets rid of, bugs.
Yes, so wheat is one of the number one crops that they spray this with. Wheat, the flour, the barley, the rye, whatever it is that you're eating is actually overloaded with glyphosate. And so when we see the effects of glyphosate on your digestive system, it's the same. Like gluten's effects and glyphosate's effects are the same exact effects.
Wow.
Which is one of the reasons why I love like when we do our 30-day challenges, we always talk about no grains, no dairy, no sugar, because those are usually the three culprits of sinus issues, gut issues, brain fog, inflammation. When we cut those things out, we start to see people, I feel better in 2 days, right?
Yeah.
One of the things glyphosate does is it acts as an endocrine disruptor. So that's what that means is that it's messing with your hormones. And so if your hormones are messed up, then your body's not regulating and healing. So you do that long enough for enough time, it's going to affect your mood swings. It's going to affect, for women, like our cycles. moving into like perimenopause, menopause. Why am I feeling these symptoms that I'm feeling and not healing from this? And what can I do to get this better? Part of that is you've got to just take those things out of there and allow your body to heal. It says here too, it says that it depletes the body of key nutrients like manganese and interferes with the detoxification pathways. When we do our functional medicine testing with Genova Diagnostics, one of the number one nutrients that's missed is manganese, and then also magnesium, which is another one that will be depleted because of glyphosate.
Okay.
If you're not gluten sensitive, you're still going to feel symptoms like fatigue, headaches, and joint pain. And that's mostly because of the glyphosate that you're ingesting and not because of the gluten that you're eating.
Yeah.
Most gluten-containing grains, unless it's organic, are drenched with glyphosate, meaning it's hard to separate the gluten reaction from the glyphosate reaction. So we've got to get better at this. And when Molly, going back to what she said in her original statement, she was talking about she switched to more meat, fruits, and vegetables, and that's her staple diet, given to probably an 80-20-ish, 90-10 some days more than others, which is I think is like totally fine. I think it's okay to go and indulge on things. I'm not saying don't ever have pizza again. I'm not saying don't ever have ice cream again, but I am saying like that's got to be like a treat for you, which eventually it turns into not being a treat because you feel so garbage after
100%,
eating it.
yeah.
So any input on that so far?
Yeah, it did. I was never like huge into junk food or anything like that. So it wasn't like, I wouldn't say it was really difficult for me to cut those things out, but it did become more of a treat. And I noticed my body reacting more after I cut those things out. So when I wasn't having the normal Dairy Queen treat that my family would pick up, or opting for not pasta, but maybe just getting like the meat dish or whatever, when I would have those things, it was like an immediate response almost, because my body was like, it was more sensitive to it, because I feel like it wasn't so overloaded with the just whatever was going in my body at the time, like the response that it was having. So definitely became more sensitive to the things that I knew I shouldn't really be having, which really ended up being a blessing.
Yeah, gluten is in more than just grains. Yeah. So let's go through some hidden things. Something like soy sauce.
Yeah.
A good substitute for that would be tamari or coconut aminos. Yep. They also have aminos from Bragg's aminos. Those are really good too. Those will be my 3. If I'm eating at home, that's what I use for soy sauce.
Yeah, me too.
And Primal Kitchen has really good soy sauce type of sauces.
Yep. This
is gross. It says imitation crab meat, which is what you would get at
California roll.
Yeah. Have you ever seen them? There's a video about how imitation crab meat is made.
No, I've never seen it being made.
It is the most disgusting. It'll change your whole, it's so sick.
Yeah. What does it look like when they make it?
It's like this whole factory thing that they do. Google on there a video of imitation crab meat being made, because you might not ever have imitation crab meat ever again.
Yeah, I really don't.
Yeah.
Because of the gluten, but
I don't do much sushi anyway. I'm trying to think of if crab is like a go-to thing for me.
I like crab, but if I get a California roll, now I just know to ask for the actual like crab substitution for a $10 upcharge.
Like the real crab, which is so
crab.
weird to have to ask for that. We also have deli meats. I just try to like typically stay away from them. There are better brands that are coming out. Like Numi is a better brand. Numi. Applegate is a good brand. I don't fully trust lunch meats. I think go get a whole chicken and cook it and then slice it up and there's your lunch meat. Do things a little bit more hard, but it helps. Yep. Some sauces and soups have flour commonly added into it to create like a thickness. Like when we make our gravy, or if I make a dish that has some sort of a sauce or gravy in it, I usually end up using like arrowroot as the thickener. So you just want to check the ingredients for that. Salad dressings, licorice and candy sometimes have flour in there to give it like a texture, a chewy texture. Supplements and also medications. Usually the capsule coating has something on there. French fries. I love French fries. Yeah. That's my weakness. Potatoes, all kinds of potatoes are my weakness.
Yeah. Steak and Shake is switching to beef tallow. Let's hope it's actually beef tallow, though, because I feel
Yeah.
like how can they? It's such a large chain
I don't know.
for them to have
They
that
are
kind
going to
of.
have to figure out because everyone's going to start doing that.
Exactly.
My other thing is too is like there's a quote that says anytime that you're on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect.
Yeah.
So anytime this stuff starts to change, it's ooh,
Yeah.
is this actually going to move in the right direction?
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's like a catch-22. Yes, I want all these changes to be made, but then also, are they really being made, or are they
know.
just saying that they're being made? It's
Yeah.
even you look at like eggs. When I first started doing this, it was like organic eggs are what you bought because that was legit good. And now it went from that to cage-free organic to free-range organic, and now it has to be pasture-raised organic because there's like stipulations that they don't have to put on to make it, like it can be free-range, but it's actually in a building and never goes outside, but all the doors are open, but they don't know how to get out.
There's so many different
Crazy
labels
things,
on
right?
eggs these
Isn't that
days.
wild?
Yeah. Like I need my chicken to be doing yoga at 8 a.m. and I need like them to
Could
be
you imagine
taking.
if you get yoga? You should train your chickens to do yoga.
Maybe they're already doing it, and I don't know.
You could sell your eggs for like $50 a thing.
Yeah, yoga eggs.
Yoga chicken eggs. I bet we should talk to Tom about doing like a yoga chicken class.
Yeah, he would love that.
I bet he would.
Yeah, he would jump on top of that.
One day we're gonna get Tom on here just so you guys can see who this person is, and the chicken conversations will be funny for you too.
Hilarious. Yeah, he loves to hate them, hates to love them. I don't know which one it is.
Loves to hate them.
Loves to hate
Definitely
them
loves
for
to
sure.
hate
Yeah,
them.
100%.
Okay, so then the other thing is oatmeal, which also includes oat milk. People are like, oh yeah, I go to the coffee shop and I get oat milk in my coffee, and that's better, right? And it's like, I don't know. Probably not, because it's grains. First of all, grains are going to cause inflammation no matter what you do. Second of all, it has the glyphosate sprayed on there. So
Aren't
you want
oats even more so spray with glyphosate?
Yeah, not good.
Jeez.
Not good. Yeah, because you can have gluten-free oats, but the cross-contamination with the glyphosates and all the stuff that they're spraying on there. So you want to stay away from that.
Totally.
So how does a person transition? I just recently heard I'm doing gluten-free this year, which I think is so good because that means to me I'm ready to make a change.
Yeah.
But what's the change that actually should be made? Because if we went and walked down a grocery store, maybe I'll do some like Instagram reels this week and show the ingredients that are actually in gluten-free products. Because I don't think we understand, like we've been conditioned to read the front of the package and, oh, like somebody's walking through a wheat field and they have a butterfly landing on their nose. So this must be healthy for me because it says it's all natural.
Yes.
And
all
organic.
Natural. Greenwashing.
Gluten-free. All the things. I know how confusing it is to go to the grocery store until you get in the groove of these are the things that I purchase, and I don't have, like I can spend 2 minutes in the grocery store now and just boom. But I remember going through this process and like learning these things. I had to take a book with me and okay, what's the rules that I'm following? What are the things I'm changing? So what's some advice that you would give somebody that wants to be gluten-free, which really means that they want to see change happen in their body. They want their body to heal. What does that look like for somebody?
I think it's not becoming gluten-free. I think it's just a full lifestyle change. I think it's becoming a label reader if you are buying some processed food and stuff. It's looking at what are the actual things that are irritating your gut, what are the additives, the preservatives, the food dyes, and just the sugars and the dextrose and the sucralose and all the things that are causing issues other than just the gluten. And then you'll really get to a really healthy whole foods diet is what you end up on, which is really what everybody I feel like thrives the most on. Everybody's a little bit different, but it's not about just going into the gluten-free aisle at your local grocery store and buying all the gluten-free stuff you can, because a lot of that stuff is just so chock full of these terrible ingredients.
I think it's even not, we do a transition to, you have to break habits. Okay, so what I'm saying by that is like when you want to eat healthier, typically healthier things don't come in a package.
Yes. Preparation.
They definitely don't come out of a square window from a fast food restaurant, right? We've got to eat more whole foods.
Yes.
So nuts, seeds, meats. I'm even okay with cheese if it's like, maybe we'll have a dairy conversation at some point, but like raw cheese, raw milk, organic, grass-fed.
Yep.
There's typically nothing wrong with that unless someone has like really high allergies or really high issues. Then that would be like where we need to start looking at that kind of stuff. But then we need to shift to fruits and vegetables. And they should be organic because they spray a lot of glyphosate on fruits and vegetables too. This is where you want to look into, have you ever heard of the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15? Love it.
Yeah.
That was a huge thing for when I started shifting. For those of you that are like, I'm on a budget, how do I eat organic and also not break the bank?
Yeah.
Follow the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. Okay, so the Dirty Dozen are the 12 items that you absolutely must buy organic. The rest of it is stuff that you can get away with not being organic until you get to a point where everything just is organic that you're purchasing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have a family. What are some things that you work on with the kids as far as what their diet looks like? How do you get them to eat healthy? Because it seems like from what I can see, for the most part, they live like a healthy diet lifestyle.
Yeah. And it's not perfect. Like we definitely still buy the gluten-free organic Annie's mac and cheese. And like that, sometimes that happens like once or twice a week, but it's really just meant to be like a backup. But we've had babysitters come over to our house and they've been like, where's the food? Like, where is, and like, actually the ground beef is cooked. Like there's fruit in this drawer. There's protein there. There's the milk there, the raw milk, the raw cheese. It just takes a little bit more preparation than cracking open a can of ravioli or whatever. It's so first, it makes me sad that like the way that I feed my kids is so different than, and it's zero judgment involved because like we live in America. This is the way that a lot of us were brought up. So it's not your fault if this is the way that you're like feeding your kids. It's just like the fast food, whatever. But like we can do better and you can take steps towards a better, but it's just, I do think it's just like one step at a time. But I would say just like thinking about the whole foods that you're feeding your kids, even if you can't like afford the organic chicken, which is like so freaking expensive these days, and the organic beef and stuff like that. I would almost go for the conventional meat and the conventional veggies and fruits and stuff like that, as opposed to driving through McDonald's or even Chick-fil-A and stuff.
Yeah. You got to do the best you can with what you have.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And still the better option is to make food at home and not buy it from fast food places, which I understand. I know I don't have kids, so I know I get it. Some days you just screw it. We're going to eat here. I think the problem that I have is that becomes the majority for a lot of families.
Yeah.
And so we've got to shift away from that just being the cop out, right? What's the easy thing? Really, there's some days like you can do ground beef and some veggies and that takes 10 minutes.
So quick.
Not even 10 minutes, probably like
quick.
5 minutes.
Yeah, like an Instant Pot.
Yeah.
So quick.
So like setting your kitchen up for success, right? Make sure you have things stocked up. Make sure you have the things in the pantry that are easy to make. Make sure you have a plan B if something goes wrong and you just can't make the meal. Like knowing the options that you have within your home. It's the same for someone like myself who I typically cook for myself, but I still have to make decisions, right? Whether you're single or you have family or you have whatever it looks like for you, there's still decisions that you have to make. Yeah. When it comes to substitutes, I love, instead of pasta, doing like a zucchini noodle or spaghetti squash. Yeah. Have you ever made spaghetti squash?
I've not made it, but I've had it.
Okay. That's one of my favorite.
I have a friend who makes it a lot.
Yeah. It's easy. So you get a spaghetti squash like the long way. I slice it the long way, just in one half. You scoop out all the seeds from the center. I get like a cookie sheet, like a smaller one, fill it with a little bit of water, and then put it face down. So the open part's down on the water. And then you bake it. I don't know the degrees, probably like 250, 300, 325. I don't know. I'm not very good at that kind of thing. I just guess. Yeah. And then you cook it for 20, 30 minutes and let it cool. Take it out, let it cool. Make sure it's soft when you touch it. And then all you do is get a fork and scrape out the inside of it. Yeah. And then it's just this like really cool noodly looking thing.
Yeah. And it's not that hard.
No.
It's really not that hard.
Zucchini noodles are even easier if you have a spiralizer.
Yeah.
Those are easy. You can get them on Amazon for $10.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
I want to get one of those.
Just don't slice your hands off.
No, try your best.
Try your best.
Yeah.
You can also, sweet potatoes can be spiralized and turned into like a spaghetti.
Yeah, I like sweet
That's
potatoes.
good too.
Those are good.
When you're baking, you can use like almond flour, coconut flour, cassava flour. However, we call those an avalanche food because you just end up eating like a lot of them. If you make an almond cookie or a batch of cookies, then you end up like eating just a ton. So just be careful.
Yeah.
Bread alternatives. There's gluten-free wraps that you can get, but you want to make sure that you're reading the ingredients. Siete brand has almond flour and cassava flour wraps. But they just sold their company to somebody.
Yes. Was it Nestle or
maybe
some really big
company. So anytime that happens, buyer beware, because something always goes wrong, and which really sucks because it was like the only good brand of chips and wraps and things like that. So just be careful with that. A couple of things I wanted to talk about too is the importance of gut testing, because I think sometimes you walk around with bloating, with irritable bowel syndrome, diarrhea, constipation, all these digestive issues, even like acne, skin issues, rashes, fatigue, all the gut stuff, right? And you saw a change happen when you started shifting more towards the gluten-free diet, and then even more towards the, I don't know, what do we call that? Like
more of a whole food centered diet? Yeah, I don't know. You could call there's like paleo, keto, all these different things, but really less processed, like just really cutting out
like
the
a Whole30
foods.
paleo.
Yes, yeah.
I love whole.
I've had some friends that are really strict with it, and they are in great health.
Yeah. I think that's one that you could like nail for your whole life.
Yeah.
And do really well with. Because there is some of the like starchy things on there that some people like crave on other diets.
Yep.
And I think that can help you walk through that. Yeah, it's a little bit more sustainable. Then, I don't know, there's something with the difference between that and the paleo diet that I like the Whole30 one a little bit better. And I'll have to go back and look. But I think it's important to understand like getting to the root cause of gut issues and understanding why it's happening, not just like randomly cutting things out, even though that does work for some people. Not everybody can do testing, but typically like gluten is just one piece of the puzzle to a whole lot of other things.
Yeah.
Like doing the gut testing is going to let us see if there is signs of leaky gut. We'll be able to check the zonulin levels to see if the tight junctions are good or not good.
Yep.
We'll be able to check to see if there's a parasite. We'll be able to check and see if there is dysbiosis, which is more bad gut bacteria than good gut bacteria. So then it's also going to show us like the lining of your gut, if there's inflammation there. Do we need to drive that down? And where you fall with your inflammation markers and how to heal that stuff. Have you ever done any type of gut testing before?
I have not done gut testing. I've actually never even had a blood work panel by a
No?
naturopath or anything. No.
Oh yeah, you were telling me the other day, you're like, is it an issue if I don't know my blood type? Was that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't fully know.
I don't think it's an issue. I just found mine out like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So
I know there's some people that like eat for their blood type and stuff like that, and I think it's interesting. I have to have it somewhere because I've been pregnant twice, and I'm pretty sure they they check that. But I was just thinking when you were talking about the gut testing, like how beautiful would it be if our healthcare system was like more centered around that kind of stuff instead of just like prescribing things to take care of a symptom that we're experiencing, like IBS or something. How about instead of but that's big pharma and stuff, if everybody just had a blood panel and like a gut testing thing. Wow. How much healthier we would be.
yeah, you follow like Mark Hyman. Dr. Mark Hyman was like the godfather of functional medicine, and you follow his stuff, and it's like when you learn about it, it makes you wonder, why it's not common practice.
Of course.
Because pharmaceutical companies can't touch it.
Nope.
and it's way less expensive, and it doesn't suit their pockets. So maybe this is where the conspiracy is going to come into play today.
It's not a conspiracy.
It's not a conspiracy, though.
This is fact. Yeah.
It is fact. I witnessed it with my own personal things, and then with patients. Man, like even if you go to a gastroenterologist who like that's their sole job is to check your gut.
Yep.
They don't do stool testing. They don't do testing for the things I just like called off.
Yeah.
And so what are we testing for? Like when you get a colonoscopy, like what are they actually testing for?
I'm not sure. It's like the colon cancer and stuff
yeah,
like that.
like they're checking to see if there's like polyps and like obstructions, but does that give you any answers, really?
I don't know. And I also think about how many parasites do you think they see in a colonoscopy that just like they don't even talk about?
Tell you about.
Yeah, they don't even
There's
tell
little
you.
bugs floating around everywhere.
Gosh. Anyway, conversation for another day.
Speaking of gut stuff, you did a coffee enema the other day. Did we talk about that on the
I
last
don't know.
podcast?
We can talk about it again.
We can add to it because now Chicken Lover Tom
Yeah.
has...
He's done too. He's going to be
participated.
so happy that I'm talking about this on your podcast.
He's going to hate me.
No, I'm really proud of him because he has just really started thinking about his health. Like he just got done with this 7-day cleanse where he just did water. He just drank water and electrolytes. And then he did the 2 coffee enemas to just help detox and clear any stuff out that might be hurting his gut health and stuff. And I think that he has had good, he's noticed that like clearer, like not so much brain fog. I think his metabolism is like even better, a little bit more regular, stuff like that. But he could tell you, I think he'll probably be a coffee enema person.
Doer?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
I was really proud of him.
How many have you done so far?
Just 2.
Just 2.
Yeah. But I'm probably going to do another one.
Was the second one better than the first one?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. I think probably it just went a little bit smoother because he knew how to do it the second time. But,
I'm talking about you.
Oh, mine? Yes. I would say the second one it seemed to be more effective than the first one. The thing that I didn't do with it was like a water enema as well, which I think I want to do next time just to like really make sure everything is getting fully flushed out. I've had colonics in the past, so that's like similar, but someone's basically like doing it for you, and it's a little bit different, like more like colon hydrotherapy. But I like the coffee enema because you can do it at home, and it's really not as scary as like you might think. Yes, your butt is involved, coffee is involved, there's poop, and a toilet is involved, but like we are all just humans, and we're all just trying to be as healthy as we can. So like, why not destigmatize something
Amen.
like that?
That's what we're trying to do.
That's what you're doing,
make coffee
right?
enemas great again.
Have they ever been great?
I don't know.
Actually, I heard
think
that
they
like
have been.
I feel like ancient Egyptians. I read like they used to do that kind of stuff.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so let's make them great again.
Make it great again.
Woo!
We should get a hat. We'll get a T-shirt. We'll make a battle ready coffee enema T-shirt.
I will wear it
for you
all
guys.
the time.
When we do testing, this is again, it's important to see your starting point. It's important to see where you're at and what we can do to get your body to heal. Anytime we talk about an autoimmune disease, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, thyroid issues, hormonal imbalances, anything that any type of I would say 90% of the things that we deal with as humans, if we don't address the gut on the way to healing all those other things, then we are just doing ourselves a disservice.
Yeah.
So my big thing is just like, why not get that checked to see if there's anything wrong and what needs to happen to fix that? Because even when we use Genova Diagnostics, and I do the gut testing, and you take a stool sample, which is funny. That one's funny because you have to catch your turd in like a
Turd,
like a hot dog carnival like tray, like a red and white. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Fun.
It's so funny.
It's festive.
So you have to catch it and then play with your turd. So
nice.
Some people have issues with that, but
Normalize it.
Yeah, normalize it. Just catch your turds in a hot dog.
If you have kids,
thing.
like poop should not faze you anymore.
Some people don't have kids though, and even some people that do have kids, like they didn't do the diaper duty situation. Like no judgment there, but
can't relate.
Like.
But no judgment.
Some people have it,
you
know?
Yeah.
So they have issues with the catching the turd in the situation.
Yeah, catch your turd for health.
Just catch more turd. Make turd catching great again.
This is getting unhinged.
This is getting unhinged. So then you have to go, not after you catch the turd, you have to go in with the little sticky wand thing and like
chopstick.
Get some stuff out of there and put it in there's 5 different tubes. You have to put it in different sample things. And then you send it off, and it takes them about 3 weeks to like fully test it and see what's in there.
Yeah.
But then we get to see what's going on and what we need to do to heal your gut. If there's inflammation, dysbiosis, all the things. So
that's great.
If that does sound like something that anybody out there is interested in,
me.
Yeah, it's instant access for you guys. All you have to do is get a hold of me. I'll have a link in the show notes in order for you to either talk to me or let me know if you want to order that. We can talk pricing and what that all looks like. There's a discount for those of you listening to the Battle Ready podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, so once you do that, then it's like we have a protocol that we put you through on how to get the bad gut bacteria out of your body, put good gut bacteria back in there, heal your gut lining, and start to regulate things as you go. So it's just a big key. Like even when we do the metabolomics testing, which is more of the blood and urine analysis, probably 8 to 9 times out of 10, I'm putting people on a gut healing protocol, regardless of them catching the turd or not, and they're just doing the metabolomics testing, because you have to start with the gut. There's really, really good books out there to read to correlate the gut bacteria and the gut healing with healing the rest of your body. And if we don't get those things lined up, then you're gonna have some issues along the way.
Yeah.
Any questions you have, anything that you have wondered about when it comes to gluten or grains or gut healing?
Let's see, any questions about gluten? I think just in my own, I've probably done so much, just like random Google searches about gluten and stuff. And is this really the root cause of like my ailments and stuff? And the longer that I live without it and the times that I do have it, I realize it is just such a trigger for me. And I know everybody's different. The trainer that I had, he mentioned if you have light skin and light eyes and like a certain heritage, like you're from a certain area in the world, chances are you're going to have some sensitivity there, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, eating for your, I don't know, like your ancestry and your DNA is something that I'm interested in. Yeah. And maybe eating for your blood type. But yeah, I think that would be something that I'd be interested in looking into.
Yeah, the blood type thing, I know there's books and like research articles and all kinds of stuff out there. I've just never dove into that. And I get questions all the time on, should I be eating? I don't know. It's just, you can't read and research everything, I don't think. So there's just one area that I just haven't walked down that road.
Yep.
And I do think it's important to understand how your body works. And like women, I think it's important to have a hormone panel every so often to just check, especially as we age. Yeah. Which we'll have a whole hormone podcast at some point and just talk about that for women, because that's a tough one.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I have. You have anything else good?
That was good stuff. Yeah.
Good?
I loved it.
All right, guys, that's what we have for the gluten debate. If you want to get your gut tested, you are more than welcome to. There'll be a link in the show notes that you can follow to get you to get on a consult with me, and we will get something set up to check your gut, see what's going on down under. Catch a turd. I'll teach you how to catch a turd.
Hashtag catch a turd.
If you're interested in coffee enemas, we will have Molly as our expert coffee enema.
You should get sponsored by like some.
I should get sponsored.
For sure.
We'll figure out what brand we want to be sponsored by.
That's right.
And yeah, next week we are going to talk about the permission to pause, which couldn't come at a better time right now than right now to talk about this. So yeah.
Amen.
I think we're going to get raw and real on that one. Are you okay with that?
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, me too.
Let's do it.
I love that kind of stuff. So
Me too.
yeah. And if you need anything from us, just go and check the YouTube channel, check Instagram. There should be some stuff rolling out there. If you want to do a consult, feel free to click on the show notes. There'll be a link in the Instagram link tree also for you to set something up there as well. So other than that, we'll see you next week on Permission to Pause. Have a fantastic week. Bye.
Bye.